Some clone fragrances are incredible, but some are pretty pathetic. Today, we're going to be looking at 9 fragrances, 3 master fragrances, and for each one of these, 1 clone that nailed it and 1 clone that failed it. I call them the master, the protege, and the dropout. So grab a pen. I promise you'll learn something. Let's get into it. First up, tobacco fragrances. And the master is going to be Initio's Side Effect. And this is one of those fragrances that smells so good, people passing on the street will stop you and ask you what you're wearing. We're talking tobacco, vanilla, amber, and a little bit of rum. This is warm, it's dark, and it's addictive. This is literally called Side Effect. I call it the baby maker because
side effects may include instant attraction, elevated heart rates, intense romantic interest, and in rare cases, unexpected pregnancy. Ask your doctor before trying Side Effect.
So spray carefully. So let's go ahead and put this on skin. And we're going to start on the back of the hand today because we got a few things to cover. Whew, that is so good. It opens with a strong boozy hit of rum and warm spices like cinnamon and saffron. As it settles, the fragrance transitions into a smoother, creamy tobacco vanilla scent. So Side Effect is part of Initio's Carnal collection. And all the fragrances in that line all contain a molecule called hedione HC. And that's something that's supposed to make this smell more seductive. And I don't know what that molecule is actually doing here, but man, it's working. And the performance on this is elite, 10 to 12 hours on skin. This is a statement fragrance, something you wear when you want to be remembered. The only problem with this is it costs more than some people's car payments. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to see who tried to replicate the magic. And now the protege, and that's the fragrance that really got it right. This is Swiss Arabian's Tobacco 01. And to be clear, this is not a one-to-one clone. It's not trying to be a photocopy, it's more like an inspired by. Imagine a student that went to the same school. And let's go ahead and put this one on the back of the other hand. So you get the vibe, you get the warmth, you get the tobacco, although it's not really as strong as you might expect considering the name is Tobacco 01. But it's definitely there. It opens with a punchy apple, plum, and spice. It moves into a warm, ambery heart. Finally, it settles into that signature honey tobacco and vanilla base. While Side Effect is dark and boozy, Tobacco 01 kind of leans more into that sweet honey vibe, making it a little bit more approachable. So I would say that if Side Effect is dark chocolate, then Tobacco 01 would be like milk chocolate. It's a little easier to love, it's a little bit more mass appealing, it's a little bit sweeter, but still, you're probably gonna like them both. But here's what's important. Tobacco 01 reminds people of Side Effect without being a complete knockoff. Because more times than not, the knockoff thing just doesn't work. Now this is an extrait de parfum, so the performance is outstanding. The projection is really solid, and the price, let's just say it rhymes with mucking tridiculous. And now the dropout. This is Jean-Marc Paris Cherry Tobacco. Now listen, I don't like to punch down on fragrances. I don't like to, but I'm going to. This is a $20 cheapie, and yet somehow I still have buyer's remorse. Look, to be fair, this isn't a horrible fragrance in a vacuum. But when you hold it up next to Side Effect and say, this in the same conversation? So Side Effect has this really cool cherry vibe that can remind you of amaretto and cherry coke without even having cherry as a listed note. So cherry tobacco is not a direct clone of Side Effect, but it does sit in that same fruity tobacco space. The problem is they went way too fruity on this. The tobacco note is somewhere begging for help in the background, and all you really get is that very strong synthetic cherry note. It's like someone described Side Effect to a perfumer over a bad phone connection. And we have a lot to cover today, so I'm not even going to put this one on skin. Let's get a quick smell. Okay, that might have been too much. The opening is red cherries. The mid is tobacco leaf and honey. The dry down is woods, vanilla, and musk. Now they might have actually been trying to clone Tom Ford's Lost Cherry or Cherry Smoke, but this is a miss. It's pure candy with barely a hint of tobacco. Next up, the master. This is Dior Sauvage Elixir. And can we just take a moment to look at that beautiful bottle? Now the Sauvage line of fragrances is probably one of the most talked about in the fragrance industry in the last 20 years. And the elixir version basically took that Sauvage DNA and turned it up to 11. Now, while the original Sauvage is meant to be mass appealing, the elixir is dense, concentrated, and almost overwhelming. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one on my wrist here. Oh, so good. You get spicy nutmeg and cinnamon in the opening, calming lavender in the mid, and that sandalwood and licorice note in the base. I swear if this were any thicker, it wouldn't spray out of the bottle. But we wear fragrances because we don't want to smell like an NPC. So I tell you, 2 sprays of this and you're a featured extra. 3 sprays, you're the main character. But be careful, 4 sprays and you're a horror villain. This is a final boss fragrance. As a matter of fact, I don't even know where we go from here. You can't make it stronger. You can't make it more appealing. Dior Sauvage Elixir is the gold standard for heavy, spicy, high-performing fragrances. This one costs a lot, it performs a lot, but when you wear it, it is a lot. Now let's see who studied. The Protégé, Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Igra. And this was a viewer recommendation. Man, excellent call. If you haven't heard of this one, write it down. I'll leave a link in the description. Bookmark it. This one is excellent, like legitimately excellent. Not pretty good for the price. It's an awesome clone. You get that dark, woody, spicy character that you get with the original fragrance. It opens with a punch of black pepper and cinnamon, then moves into a smooth coffee and iris heart, and dries down to a creamy sandalwood and vanilla beast. So we're gonna go ahead and put Igra on skin. Smells very good. Let's compare it to the original. Okay, so side by side, you can definitely tell them apart. The original has a lot more depth. It's a little bit more refined, but I'm gonna say Igra more than holds its own. If you were doing a blind test in a dark room, you'd be guessing. So the performance is there and the projection is there, and you're paying a fraction of the price. This is what a Protégé looks like. Some clones copy, this one learned, and your nose knows it. And the dropout is Latafa Assad. Assad, buddy, I love you, but today you're cooked. Dropout. To be fair, I actually like Assad, but when you put it up against Sauvage Elixir or Igra, it's like bringing a water pistol to a gunfight. It's just not there. So the inspiration is obvious. This is spicy, it's dense, it's warm, but the execution is just a little bit off. So we're gonna go ahead and spray this one on paper because we're gonna run out of skin. But I'm very familiar with this one. Assad kicks off with a sharp black pepper and tobacco punch, then moves into a smooth coffee and iris heart. It settles into a warm, creamy vanilla amber finish. Look, as a super budget option, Assad is great, but when you put it next to Igra, it feels a little bit underqualified. Like doing a book report after you only read the cliff notes. Again, Assad is enjoyable, but when you put it up against the OG, it just feels thinner, flatter, and more synthetic. And it doesn't perform as well either. As the biggest clone house, Latafa has put out some absolute bangers. But we should talk about some of the smaller clone houses who've been eating their lunch lately. And I'm looking at you, Riffs and Arabia Prestige. Oh, also Orientica. And I know that that's an Al Haramain sub-brand, but they've got a lot of nice looking new releases coming out. And the final master, this is Creed's Absolute Aventus. And Aventus has been cloned so many times that even the clones have clones. Nowadays the clone houses are just like, here, try this. But Absolute Aventus is Creed reminding everyone who actually runs things. So let's go ahead and put this on skin. And right away you can smell that Aventus DNA, but it's actually darker and richer. This is so smooth, it doesn't walk into a room, it glides. But let's put the notes on screen so you can see what's going on here. This opens with a bright burst of pineapple, bergamot, and black currant that gives it that juicy Aventus signature. In the mid, you start to get a little more structure with ginger, cinnamon, and cardamom. Then in the base, everything settles into patchouli, vetiver, and smoky woods. It smells like Aventus at a black tie event. This separates itself because a lot of clones can copy the fragrance notes, but few can actually capture that way it makes you feel when you wear it. This is the equivalent of Leonardo da Vinci watching his students try to copy his brush strokes. Some will get close, but at the end of the day, the master always signs the canvas. Now for the Protégé, this is Off-Non Supremacy Collector's Edition. And if Absolute Aventus is the master signing the canvas, Absolute Aventus is that talented student who's mastered the technique. And I love this stuff. Just look at this beautiful presentation. It looks like a chunk of granite. It's very heavy. Some might even say substantial. And so is the fragrance inside. My bottle of PDM Sedley behind me, I guess it heard enough of my blathering and made a jump for it. R.I.P. Sedley, we hardly knew you. Okay, let's stop messing around, let's put this on skin. And this one smells great. Right away, you do get that Absolute Aventus DNA. You can definitely see where they were going with this one. However, this one's a little bit fruitier, it's a little bit sweeter, and it's more pineapple forward. So if this is wearing a tuxedo to a job interview, then this is wearing an elegant tailored suit. Now you might have gotten that suit at the Men's Warehouse, but when you walk into that room, you're gonna look good and no one's gonna know. So let's put the notes on the screen so you can see what's going on here. This opens with a vibrant mix of pineapple and bergamot. The mid features orange blossom, birch, and amber for that smoky, slightly woody character. The base settles into ambergris, oak moss, and musk. And this is where the Protégé starts to show its talent. Now the Creed DNA is unmistakable, but it doesn't feel like a copy or a paint by the numbers. Is it as smooth as Absolute Aventus? Well, no, but I would say that the compliment factor is just as high. No, I don't say this very often, but just buy this one and thank me later. In 2026, this is one of the best cologne fragrances you can buy. Full stop. And finally, the dropout of the day, this is Zamaya Sharaf the Club. They call this the Club because the bottle's so heavy it doubles as a blunt force weapon. Seriously, this thing is heavy. If Absolute Aventus has beautiful citrus in the opening, this has citrus too, but it smells a bit like a toilet cleaner. This is a clone of Absolute Aventus the way gas station sushi is an omakase. One sends you straight to the bathroom, the other just smells like one. And we're gonna go ahead and put this on a test strip because I'm already wearing 6 different fragrances. I think that's enough. This opens with pineapple and bergamot. The mid features orange blossom, birch, and amber. The base is ambergris, oak moss, and musk. And interestingly, this has the exact same notes listed as Off-Non Supremacy Collector's Edition, but they smell nothing alike. So if you turn your head and squint, this can look like Absolute Aventus. Kind of the way if you turn your head and squint real hard, Gollum can look like a hobbit, only balder and greasier and, oh, who are we kidding? He looks like a damn goblin. And the opening on this is kind of synthetic. Remember how I said the master glides into the room? This stumbles into the room and trips over the carpet. If Absolute Aventus is showing up to a job interview in a tuxedo, this is showing up to a job interview in a polyester tracksuit, 2 sizes too small. And the base is where this really falls apart for me. That generic woody amber, that could come from any number of budget clones. Guys, I'm just trying to have fun and make you laugh. This really isn't that bad. Zamaya has some bangers, this just isn't one of them. This is where I pull a handle and a trapdoor opens. Bye-bye, Zamaya, you're the dropout. Okay, let's recap. The Masters, Initio Side Effect, Creed Absolute Aventus, and Dior Sauvage Elixir. These are the blueprint. If you can afford it, they're worth it. And now the Protégés, Swiss Arabian Tobacco 01, Off-Non Supremacy Collector's Edition, and Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Igra. You can wear these proudly, you can save money, and you're still gonna smell great. And finally, the 3 dropouts. But we don't talk about the dropouts. Now, if you found this information useful, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're new, welcome. And be sure to comment down below which fragrances you'd like to see in the next Master, Protégé, and Dropout segment. Until then, we'll see you next time.